Radical.
Viewer discretion is advised.
Welcome to Radical Rapid Fire Comments March from March 8th through the 14th, 2021. Short comments, quick replies. Vic Viper. YouTubers who promote you to donate and join their Patreon and put exclusive content behind a paywall are the lowest form of scum on the planet, and those that defend them are the scumbags. All these types of YouTubers are part of the YouTube swamp, and Radical Rick is here to drain that swamp. I wouldn't say they're the lowest form of scum on the planet. Not by far. I mean, you know, and just an aside, you left a comment once saying, Radical Rick, you love the Radical Rick character. Like, I don't know, Vic Viper, there's something kind of weird about some of your comments. I don't know, like, I'm paying attention here, because if you're under the impression that I'm a character, then I think you're sadly mistaken, all right? I get on here and I get my thoughts, whether it's YouTubers, whether it's movies, whether it's games. Like, I'm not playing a character. Maybe someone told you something that is not the case. And yeah, televangelists, I would say, are far beyond probably the worst scum on the planet, televangelist manipulators on that level. I mean, Metal Jesus, you know, he had the basement scam. But these televangelists are trying to take money and claiming that they have a direct connection with the Lord. So, yeah, far and away, I think maybe televangelist. Unless you get outside and, you know, you talk about actual, like, murderers or, like, hardened criminals, stuff like that. Martyville. Now, you know how I feel when arguing with Dragon Ball Super fanboys. Each conversation feels like I'm talking to a troll, and then we circle over the same argument over and over again and over and over again and over and over again. Sometimes it's funny, most of the time it's just plain sad. You know, I think about that whenever I go to the Death Battle Superman versus Goku comment thread. I left a lot of whoppers there years ago, and it would be the same deal. I'd try to explain to people, unless you're talking about Superman 1 million, there was no way in hell, you know, Goku is going to get defeated by, you know, Clark Kent. Good old Clark Kent that, you know, well, not Clark Kent, but, you know, no. I mean, Superman's strong, don't get me wrong, but he's just not anywhere on the level of power output from someone like a Goku or a Vegeta. You know, even some of the lower tier in current Dragon Ball Super could probably one-shot Superman, to be honest. You know, that's just how it is. I'm sorry. That's just the case. That's fucking common sense. I'm sorry. Fanboying aside, that's just common sense. And also One Punch Man. One Punch Man could probably... That's a snap. I don't have the sound for, like, maybe a punch. You know? I don't know if that came through. You know, I punched my knee. Terry W. You should be as smooth as a baby's bottom. But wait, no man's apron for your Riddler? You left that comment on my shaver collection upload. And unless, like, I got, like, a date and I know something's going to happen, I generally don't shave down there. Unless, like, I know something's going to happen. And I'll tell you from experience, you know, the reaction that you get, if it's nicely smooth and shaven, not all the way shaven, you know, you want to leave the strip and everything, is generally great unless you got a girl that basically just, you know, loves the hair. I'm not sure. I know personally, I don't like a woman to have a lot of hair down there because, I mean, I don't like hair in my food. So my thinking is the females, you know, don't either. And it's just respectful, I would say. You know, if you're going to, I don't want to get too graphic here. Jordan Thompson, you're able to connect it right at the back, or what plug did you use? Talking about my Pioneer DVD player. You know, I would probably just suggest to get a Kenwood if you don't want to get a toggle switch, because it's kind of aggravating. You know, I kind of wish I didn't have to hit the toggle switch back and forth every single time that I turn it on to want to, you know, watch. Well, I don't watch movies, but, you know, if I have music videos playing on the screen. So just in reality, I would probably, if I had to go back in time, I'd probably get a nice Kenwood. Yeah, because it's just aggravating to deal with the toggle switch. And you have to, if you get, I think, the Pioneer head unit and maybe some of the Alpines. But yeah, you want to get a toggle switch. Just a cheap toggle switch will do for you, Jordan Thompson. The Winged Avenger. Winged Avenger, I'm going to quickly go over some of your metal recommendations here. Metallica, Kill 'Em All, Megadeth, Rust in Peace, Slayer, Seasons in the Abyss, Sabotage, Edge of Thomas, Iron Maiden, Black Sabbath, Dehumanizer, Danzig, How the Gods Kill, Anthrax, Persistence of Time, Testament, Practice What You Preach, Dio, Holy Diver, Queensrich, Operation Mindcrime, Wasp the Headless Children. I would throw in there Manowar Battle Hymns. Come on, Winged Avenger. You know, how could you not have Manowar Battle Hymns on there? A lot of people forget about Manowar. Bill M. Remove your fucking ads and maybe someone will take you seriously. You hypocrite, commie, piece of shit. Let's see here. Ads, hypocrite, commie. It's almost like it's the same person leaving the same comments year after fucking year. You know, well, we'll be seeing you, Bill. Probably in another form, in another sock account. Jordan Sharp. Hey, the guy says women are unattractive with kids, talking about Kevin Samuels, and can't want high-value men, which I agree, but then this man literally admits he was a stepfather once. He said that I was done with him when his videos, he's a hustler. Yeah, it's weird. You see all these people, the men going their own way, all these people that say, hey, you never date a woman with kids, never do this. But the thing is, it's hard to take someone seriously if they're actually, you know, dating a woman and actually going to the next level of being a stepfather. Now, you can date a woman with kids and not be a stepfather or stepdad or a stepmom. You know, you can do that. The thing is to actually just let it be known right away that, hey, I want to date you, but I really, and it's kind of tough to say, you're like, I want to date you, but I don't want to help raise your, you know, kid. Albert Menendez. Exactly. By the way, Ninja Scroll and Vampire Hunter D are, from what I feel, is the golden age of Japanese animation and are excellent. Oh, I could talk a lot about the golden age of Japanese animation. You know, I went back and watched some stuff from the 80s, and then I'm like, man, something about this animation from the 80s period versus the 90s period and 2000s, it just seems better to me. And just the animation, the artwork, everything was just stellar. And I actually come to realize that that was a boom period and there was a lot of people out of work apparently. And then something happened in that period in the 80s in anime to where you had like some top tier people working on anime, like some of the best people. And if you look back in time, yeah, I mean, like I said, I mean, this is Radical Rapid Fire, but I could go into detail and talk about some great movies and series from the 80s. Just stellar stuff. Florida Cracker. Why have this race mixing promoting footage playing? Nothing good ever comes from it. I told you to stay tuned there, Florida Cracker. I feel that it would probably hurt the tone, which is generally, you know, happy and upbeat of these Radical Rapid Fire comment responses, to actually give you the kind of response that I need to. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. I'm going to have a side upload, Florida Cracker, and let's just say I have a response for you. Bellstar. Yeah, I remember that it was almost 10 years ago. It was from the first time I noticed a good YouTuber really selling out the first of many. I was so confused at the time, I thought James was a good guy with noble intentions. I was still a teenager back then, laugh out loud. You know, probably a big portion of James' audience is probably actually, you know, underage people, you know, are teenagers and whatnot. And the thing is, you learn a lot in life as you go on past, you know, teenagehood and childhood. And there's so many people that just think he's so honest, so noble, so genuine, a national treasure. I see people leaving in his comment section. Well, here's the thing. He's delved into e-begging because he collected games years ago. You might say he was a pioneer of actually, you know, e-begging and accepting game donations online. But, you know, you go into the realm of scamming when it comes to the Cheetamin stuff. There's even a comment I don't have here from Mike Matei, where Mike Matei actually came out and said it was wrong. I wish I could find that comment, right? But when people come by and they say, well, James is so honest and he's noble. He's a national treasure. I'm like, hello, Cheetamin scam. SVA 43. Your video game music selection on your vids are top notch. Well, thank you. I try to, as much as I can, have such a great collection here of the game music. I have probably over 100, you know, game outros. I'm trying to really kind of beef up my music outros. I got some more rock editions, some rap editions I'm adding and everything. What I'd like to do is my goal is to actually have a outro for probably the mood and tone of each upload, if possible, right? So that's something that's maybe a throwaway on a lot of channels, but I actually try to make the most of those last 20 to 30 seconds of an outro. Servbot42, 14 seconds long watching a YouTube video? That's a new record. Yeah, I hit it and I stopped at the 14-second mark. There's other things in that completionist upload, that I could probably focus on. Definitely a lot. People have left timestamps. But I think, the 14 seconds, that's all I had right there. But I think that response to the 14 seconds came out pretty well. Mingo, if you put sad music over a traumatic experience, I feel that's just manipulative. You have to go out of your way to do that. If you want to update people, that's fine, but just talk. No need to have fancy lighting or a script or anything. Gerard is an actor. All right, those videos, those sad update videos, probably has a fucking script. Multiple edits, the sad music. If it's a simple update video without any agenda, then why the sad music? You're trying to soften people up so they can donate. Hello? Sean A., almost 1.5 million subs, and he's always crying. Yeah, all this sadness, This guy has not enough subs. This guy needs some more subs, doesn't he? Because he's so depressed. Woodhawker, he's only got 1 million. Let's see if we can get Woodhawker to 1.5 million. These people are so fucking depressed. We got to do something. We got to subscribe. We got to send them money. We got to do something. God damn, they're so sad. No, I actually mean they're really fucking sad. Bam Bam Bigelow. Funny how his I'm depressed video fall around the same time quarterly taxes do. Wasn't Woodhawker's his depressed video like in March? Correct me if I'm wrong. Wasn't it March? So now we have an update from this guy in March. Fuck, what is it about March? This time of the year? Didn't like the tippity top hat gaming man have one of these sad videos? Maybe that one wasn't in March, but it seems like there's a lot this time of fucking year. You nailed it, Bam Bam Bigelow. Albert Menendez. It's pretty obvious that whatever money Popovich acquired through this Cheatman scam, he split with At a Time James. Let's talk about that Popovich, okay? I had to correct somebody that said that I said Popovich, and like I was talking about Greg Popovich, the Spurs coach. If you go back into the timestamp of that upload, Popovich, okay? That was back from 2019, but I was kind of like trying to do something and make fun of pop bitch, and it sounded kind of like bitch to me. So I was like, papa bitch. Okay? That's all I wanted to say there. Harvey Tilgman. Radical Rick, listen, your channel has a good foundation, so good and true. The Lord himself suggested your channel to me. I see why channels like yours can stay on YouTube forever, but YouTube right now does not have much of a good foundation. God bless you and all who follow you. Amen. Well, that's the aim here, to kind of like link in religion and everything like that, because really, I think God himself came to me one day and he said, Rick, you have to speak out against e-beggars. I'm like, thank you, God. I will spread the gospel. God himself, right? Harvey? It's God himself actually promotes this channel, right? You could say God is my, God. I just heard something in the background. Sorry about that. You would say God is my sponsor. Number one sponsor. I'm shilling for God, people. Handsome Asian dude. If I ever need a lawyer, I'm hiring you. Whether you have the credentials or not, don't matter. Keep up the awesome videos. Okay. You said you're hiring me whether or not I have the credentials. I don't know if that's the best move. Let's see. I don't know if I could actually, I haven't practiced law. Maybe that doesn't matter. How about chasing ambulances? I'm a reasonably fast runner. I don't know. Listen, find yourself a real lawyer. All right. So yeah, I'm sorry. I'm turning down your offer for the legal services. I could probably done more there, but fuck it. Radical Rapid Fire. Remember the great sports. Oh, and more comment of my favorite children's book used to be called The Pumpkin Smasher when I was a kid. Now all pumpkins may want to get a lawyer and track down all the copies of that book. Again, lawyers, okay? Check with Remember the Great Sports. He might know some great lawyers. Pumpkin Smasher. Let's see. It was on Jeopardy. Let's see. What is Pumpkin Smasher? Another way of saying screwing fat women. Oh, I've pissed off a lot of fat women who subscribed here. Mike Goldberg. The irony, they cancel 6 Dr. Seuss books, yet I still can buy Mein Kampf on my bookstore, on any bookstore. Yeah, it's a weird thing, you know? That's the one thing a lot of people point out. People are burning Dr. Seuss books. But, you know, you can get Mein Kampf, you know, pretty much wherever, right? Crazy times we live in. Energy Turtle. James got most of his NES games for free. He used to have a list on the Cinemassacre website of all the games he'd like to have for AVGN episodes. People sent them to him. So again, he was one of the innovators of e-begging. So people looked at James as one of the first to do a lot of things. And hell, he's probably one of the first to do the e-begging thing, you know? That leads way to, you know, people like the John Hancock, right? Truly an innovator. James Rolfe, sorry about that. Haddington Rose. And I know somebody will probably leave in the comment section how I got something wrong in this and, you know, all fucking triggered and everything. Hey, Radical Rapid Fire, all right? I don't have a goddamn editor. This is done in one take because I got other things to work on of higher quality, like Comment of the Week, which I actually really do put some time into. Haddington Rose. No, that idea about cloning your family isn't a good idea for a movie. It already is one, a really bad one, named Replacement, starring Keanu Reeves. Whoa, there's more of me. They're everywhere, dude. Keanu Reeves. That's a Keanu Reeves movie I have not seen. There's another one, I think, Multiplicity. Doesn't it got that guy that played Batman? You know, the first Batman, that actor. You know, the guy that was in Mr. Mom and some other movies from the late 80s. What are some other movies that have cloning as a theme, other than The Replacements and that movie with, what's the Batman actor? You know, he's also in Spider-Man. I forgot his name. Andy Author 2007. I'm an atheist, so I don't have a dog in this fight, but the SJWs are now going after the Bible. According to the SJWs, the Bible promotes rape, racism, and slavery, so the SJWs want to cancel the Bible. That is going to be the battle at the end of times. Oh my, oh my. The amounts of YouTube videos on that, just the sheer volume that's going to be made from the Bible versus the SJWs. I don't know if we're going to survive that. Silver Music Box. The more people are okay with cancel culture, the more they will start to affect stuff that these fools actually care about. The weird thing is, where do you draw the line, right? There's generally things that are seen as acceptable and unacceptable in society in 2021, right? And what has happened is the last few years, it is increasingly went to a point to where, I mean, just the last couple years, right? I mean, you look at like 2015 and it was really not anything, you know, everything was generally the same way it was from 2010, 2005, 2000, you know, but like after 2015, all these things start to kind of ramp up. And a lot of these people, these bloggers that said, okay, I have an issue with this, that could be seen as somewhat this way, the thing that you said, that not overtly, but maybe in a way, if I get a microscope and really kind of look at the way you said that, like, what did you mean by that, right? Let's cancel you. Let's get this person fired. Let's deplatform these people, right? What happens when the people that are going after all these people, you know, with very questionable things, right? Just some of the most questionable stuff, right? They're going after all these other people. But what happens when people find skeletons in their closets? You know, you have a lot of fucking cowards on the internet, you know, these bloggers and everything. But what happens is those people that are becoming famous for canceling and going after other people, what happens when someone finds some dirt on them? It will get to a point where, like, everyone's canceled and there's no one left. Sean A. Only YouTubers describe buying items as pickups. Yeah, the weirdest thing. Like, I never really heard of that before YouTube. And I think what it is it might have been another comment that left this thought, which is they have to rationalize the hoarding and everything. So instead of buying it, they can't even own up to the fact that they paid real actual money for these things. You know, that's why Pat the Nest Punk, for instance, doesn't want to talk about how much he paid for things. He just picks them up. He picks these things up in the wild. Yeah, this is the terminology and everything. Red Strass 97. The movie was out on YouTube for free at one point. That's how I saw it. Ah, okay. So that's how a lot of people saw that Angry Nerd movie. It was out for free on YouTube. Well, here's the thing. Whenever someone sees it for free also on YouTube, don't tell me about it. I don't want to watch that trash. Mr. Monster. I think they should re-release the books with the racist imagery removed, and I think that's going to be their goal. You know what? Interesting thing. If they re-release these Dr. Seuss books, you know, without the imagery, or, you know, actually with updated pages, updated art and everything, I wonder how that's going to affect the value of the ones that were taken off the market, right? You know, so people paying like top dollar for these books now. I wonder if they make these, if they bring these books out and they have the imagery removed, then does that make a lot of people that are buying the books and paying top dollar for them, you know, for preservation purposes, you know, if it's, you're just basically buying the racist imagery, wouldn't you say? Mingo. I agree that some picks are hokey, some I can go either way but these books do deserve to be in a museum or something. While not accepted these days, if they preserve these books, we can look back to where we are now and what we can do to improve upon things. That's a great idea, Think Mingo. And if anybody has these Dr. Seuss books, you know, if you don't want them burned or thrown away, send them to John Hancock for the future John Hancock Museum. 2035 is the new date. Epsilon Eagle. Hey, Rick, I got some trim last night, too. I'm married, though, so it's not the same. Well, hey, nothing wrong with, like, married trim, you know? Nothing wrong with that. I would say probably it's not as exciting as, you know, trim you find out in the wild. But hey, there's nothing to joke about when it comes to easily accessible. Nothing wrong with that, you know? Hey, less work, right? And at the end of the day, ultimately, nut's a nut, right? Mike Warner. This is why I have no interest in becoming a YouTuber. At least somebody is getting some stink dick. Stink dick. I don't know where that comment came from. When I think about stink dick, I think about, like, you know, people doing the anal stuff, right? I could never do the anal stuff. Oh yeah, I wanted to share a story, quick story, you know, and I mean super quick. I overheard a conversation a girl was having with another girl, and she was talking about how the guy, you know, went her to poop a shoot, and she was so embarrassed, you know, I guess it went in there too quick. I'm not sure if there's a way to kind of ease it, but she was like, I was like dying of embarrassment. I pooped on it a little bit. And then I just like, you know, you should see the expression on my face. I'm like, I just kind of walked off. I'm like, how did I walk into that conversation or walk by it and everything? Chris Knockwood. I 30 seconds in and turned it off. Middle-aged white guys playing 80s music. Wives are shaking their heads and them screaming, I want to rock in the garage. You know what? If you want to rock, go ahead and rock. We don't need to know. You don't need to exclaim that you want to rock. Just like you go ahead and rock, right? So I don't get that from like songs. They scream, I want to rock. You know? Do you say that before you drink a drink? I want a Coke. No, just go ahead and drink it. The Winged Avenger. Rick, your 1-minute teaser of the video you were about to upload about AVGN versus Irate Gamer was one of your best uploads ever. Not all teasers are created equal. I can't remember that teaser. I cannot. What made it so great? Like, I don't get it. I don't know if like any 1-minute teaser could be considered one of my best uploads ever, but I don't know. Maybe. Joel Gaming Show. I didn't watch it laugh out loud. Don't care for that. I only sub to that channel for the AVGN content, and he barely does that nowadays. Shaking my head. And the videos he posts recently is a waste of people's time. Just like I said, you know, if you're posting, like, if you got a big channel like Cinemassacre and people are kind of expecting something, it's one thing to actually have maybe a couple weeks apart between Angry Nerd episodes, but if you have the weeks apart and you just have to upload maybe a minute or two, like just update, then you're really insulting people, I would say, on a channel of that size. People have come to expect Angry Nerd episodes, at the very least. And you have these teasers and teasers and teasers, and then you have like, hey, a music video for some reason, right? And some people like the Rex Viper music video. But, come on. Ultimately, it's not a nerd episode. And who's in the upload that you're really familiar with? So what even is that channel? A lot of people originally that were fans of the channel are saying now. What the hell even is that channel now? Is it going to be a music video channel for the most part? You have all these, and I just don't know. Like, I'm looking at it from a spectrum of early fans of AVGN, and that's why so many people really didn't like it, I think. Review China USA. Do you now understand why communities like the Big Cheese Crusaders exist? Okay, so you're asking me if I understand why communities like the Big Cheese Crusaders exist. And then I said to you, why is it about like one person? If you legitimately have issues with somebody for, shady things they're doing, you're going to focus on one person? And then there was another person, Review Pirates USA, something like that. And I know it's a meme thing. I know a lot of people do that kind of stuff. But ultimately, I think someone like Review Tech USA, doesn't he really draw power from this? Like, and he can just point to and say, see all these trolls with my head and everything? They're just trolls, disregard them. What people like him fear is actually legitimate people with legitimate criticism, I would say. Right? So, yeah. And there was another person, the pirate person, who I saw that they were subscribed to Yongye. And I said, okay, like, of all the people you're going to criticize or try to criticize or leave your funny comments about, talk about Rich, meanwhile, you're subscribed to somebody who literally, you can argue, steals $200 from some hopeless sap every month because they think they're their friend. Okay? Giving $200 a month to a YouTuber. Right? I mean, that's some big cheese every month. And don't try to make the argument, well, capitalism, society, if somebody wants to give $200 to a YouTuber, they can. I'm like, fuck if I'm not going to have something to say about that on both ends. It's just stupid and it's wrong. So if you're going to call out Review Tech USA and make all these memes, Review China, Review Pirates or whatever, then go ahead and make them for lots of other people. Otherwise, what's the point? Justonian the Great. I foresee a running gag on this channel being about the harmful bodily afflictions that befall great men as their eternal eardrums rupture from hearing the Mike Matei alarm. May God rest their souls. I actually thought about, doing like an intro that was the Mike Matei alarm and would have like his face superimposed on a clock or just something like a jump scare or something like that. I thought about, I don't know, a running theme. I'm not sure. Probably not, but it's an idea. Art Bell, update. Polymega is now 4 years late. Military uprising in Myanmar, where they are assembled, will not help things. This may impact how Walmart sees the product. And the Amiku in October. Walmart may refuse to deal with struggling consoles. So wait, are they going to carry this actually in the stores or just Walmart online? Can you imagine going into a Walmart game section and seeing the Xbox, PlayStation, the Nintendo, and then like an Amico display? This is hilarious to me, right? Yeah, a big Amico display, and then like it has like a cutout of Tommy Tallarico behind it. Man, living in Fantasyland, I'll tell you. The Inundator / Death Crust Punk Productions. Weird, I was literally talking about Phil Collins on Facebook, and then I see this video. So you're talking about Phil Collins on Facebook, and then you saw the video, which is my upload talking about Philips Colon Health. So that's weird. Because of Phil Collins? That's such an odd thing. Phil Collins, if you're interested, right? Would you like to come on and talk about Philips Colon Health? Maybe you could talk about your Genesis days, and I don't know. Like, I don't see the connection here is what I'm saying. Like, what's the connection between Phil Collins and Philips Colon Health? If I do that right now and get on Google search and I type in Phil Collins, will Philips Colon Health come on? Maybe it's just like similarities in the words. I don't know. Energy Turtle. The man with no time joins a band. Makes complete sense, laugh out loud. Someone found out that all the other band members are hired guns. They aren't even friends with James or anything at all. I doubt James even really played. The band should be called James Midlife Crisis. That's why a lot of people, like I was touching upon, they look at it and they're like, who are these people? Who are these people? These are just people that they've never even seen before. And they think like, okay, what the hell even is the channel? Like, was there a warning to people? You know what? James doesn't have any time for the Angry Video Game Nerd anymore. So what we're going to do is we're going to convert it into like, Angry Video Game Nerd, somewhat kinda, but not really. It's going to be just a music video channel from now, which is not. I don't think it is. But a lot of those fans looking at that are just looking at that saying, okay, so this is what's taking time away? So this is what your time is going into? This band? Rusty Shackelford. If Patreon isn't a donation, then why do a number of YouTubers make the statement, please donate to my Patreon? Well, you don't have to say, please donate to my Patreon. They don't have to, but they do. Some of them are like, just, consider. If you like the channel, just consider joining the Patreon. Well, I want to know the difference, really, ultimately, like, what's the difference between, someone asking for donations and then saying, please consider it. Please consider it, right? It's kind of like going up to a girl and saying, hey, please suck my dick. Just please suck my dick. Does it change things if you go up to a girl and say, would you please consider sucking my dick?